Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here. I'm calling from the big island of Hawaii. There's a lot of things going on with the virus and shootings and you name it. All right. I'm not going to get into that. I want to get into something real specific. I'm on my fifth book. My fourth book, the title was The True Teachings of Jesus from God Realization. It's not a religious book. It's about truth. And why I say truth, I mean actual experiences that I had in this lifetime or many others, as well as actual experiences during this lifetime. So what I want to do, I want to break down the lies, put some truth out there, and hope to get you to see a little bit further than the programmed ideas that you already have. Now, I know people say, and lots of people say it, just because they don't know it, they'll say nobody knows it. If science doesn't know it, they'll say nobody knows it. But science doesn't know anything important. And when I mean important, death, birth, reincarnation, ghosts, spirits, demons, angels, deities, and God. All right. They come up with stupid statements like the God gene and things like that. They talk out there, you know what. All right. I'm going to get into a lot of things. I'm not going to do a long show today because I'm preparing to do a workshop, which I'm going to be doing very soon. It's going to be about every aspect of life, starting from birth to death, reincarnation, or whatever goes on after death, at many levels, and helping a person find a way to search the truth in their life, to understand what's true, what's really important. Very few people have a clue what is really important, not what they're programmed to believe is important, meaning what their parents told them is important, what their grandparents told them is important, what their friends say is important. Each has their limited viewpoint. Friends will be sex and drugs. I mean, parents will be religion. I mean, each one has their typical agenda they program their child with. And I do mean program because they have no clue of what they're even talking about. When your mother tells you about Santa Claus, does she have a clue if there's a real one or not? Of course not. I mean, she knows there's not. But how would she describe a real Santa Claus to a child? A great story. A sad story. All right. So I want to get into the fact, again, when people go, well, I don't know. Nobody knows what. And just because you don't know something doesn't mean there's not another person on this planet that might know it. Maybe, just maybe. Because scientists don't know. Will they ever know the truth? Of course not. The world's coming pretty much to a disastrous point right now. Anything could happen, but nothing good. No, Jesus isn't going to come down and heal the planet and things like that. No. Mankind created a cesspool. And do they really believe some being, some angel, Jesus or God, has to come down and clean up their garbage? It gave us a good planet. We screwed it. We screwed it at every level. Now, do you think somebody's responsible for that? Yes, people are. And not all people, most people. And sadly, people were programmed. I don't know if you believe in aliens or not. That's your choice. Hopefully the government's going to be releasing more information in about 2 weeks. Actual truth that they have may be very limited, but at least if they release one statement, it'd be important. But the truth is, there's many things that most people do not understand or believe in or know. All right? I'm going to go into a lot of things, including the Bible. I mean, ancient scripts and things like that. All right. Now, let's take, to me, the most spiritual person to walk this planet from the beginning of time to now was Jesus. I did say person. All right. Now, what do I mean? He was very, very gifted, very aware, and he came here to teach. All right. Now, what was he teaching? We're going to get into that because that's lies over and over again. Now, when Jesus came to this planet, he was a little baby. I'm going to go into that because that's the first step of trying to understand the birth of Jesus. Now, there's people out there. Oh, greetings. Hello, Sasha. How are you?
Hey, Tommy, pretty good. I was eating supper, so
No,
I'm
that's
done
great.
now.
I'm glad you stopped in. If you have any questions, anything, please just interrupt me. That's okay. You
Okay,
can.
copy that.
All right. All right. Now, sadly, all these so-called people out there, religious people, spiritual people, new age people, have very little truth when it comes to death, reincarnation, birth, afterlife, demons, entities, spirits, and all that. Very few people have a clue. Sure, there's certain people out there that are in that mainstream doing that. One of the most important people that I ever saw on TV or came to know recently was a woman from Death Files. Watch it. She's an incredible psychic. She can listen, tune in to spirits that are here. She's not a super healer or anything like that. She tells the family what to do to help clear the house, clear the energy, or even move. But she's not claiming to be God or anything close to it. Now, some of these people with psychic abilities, I'm waiting to challenge one of the most so-called top mystic on the planet. All right? I'm still waiting. These people talk, and they talk, and they talk.
I do have a question.
Sure, go right ahead.
A lot of questions I get is with individuals asking me, why do certain people get to experience near-death experiences and others do not?
All right, the most important reason for that is a person's karma. Now, karma is created in multiple lifetimes. And when you come into this lifetime, you come in with a bag of garbage. You
Okay.
could say Santa Claus with a bag of Christmas gifts. No, it's a bag of garbage. You gotta get rid of it. You're not giving gifts until you balance out that karma. And if you don't know what it is, you really should find a way to find out what it is and how much you really have to work out. All right. I can go into a lot of things about that, but I'm going to be doing that in my workshop, which will be coming up very soon.
Okay.
But I'm going to get back to this. Now, people that say they know the truth, have the truth, or think they know the truth, people like religious people, priests, ministers, rabbis, shamans, medicine people, new age healers, new age spiritualists, all those kind of words. And then there's other words like aliens and atheists, and they all think or have something to say about it, even though they have no clue. And the only thing they know is what they read or heard. And that's a sad thing, because especially when it comes to Jesus, most people rely on the Bible. All right. And basically, they don't know what it says. And it needs translation, but translation by somebody that knows what's being said. All right. Now, I'm going to get into the things about aliens and everything else a little bit later. I want to start at the beginning. All right. You heard the story of the birth of Jesus, Immaculate Conception. It's a great word. All right. Now, there's a TV show on about pregnant girls that are pregnant and don't know they're pregnant, don't know how they got pregnant. Imagine that. In this day and age, younger women pregnant, maybe up to 6, 8 months pregnant, and they don't know that they're pregnant. They just think they're eating too much food or whatever the story is, but they don't even know they're pregnant. All right. Now, let's go back to Bible days when Mary Magdalene was alive. Not Mary, it's not Mary, Mary, the mother of Jesus. And she was married to Joseph. And she supposedly had immaculate conception. Now, do you know Jesus had 2 brothers? All right. That's one thing. And there's no actual proof of how old they were. Second of all, I'm going to say something. This is going to make your mind get really twisted. All right. Going to the idea of how a person can get pregnant. There are many ways. How can it happen? Well, they could be on drugs. They had drugs in those days. They could be drinking in those days. Or they could be sleeping. How many women are sleeping and their husband, boyfriends play with them? All right. Hypnotized. All right. Sure. I'm not going to say Mary, the mother of Jesus, was raped. But if she was raped and when she was sleeping, she wouldn't know it, would she? In Bible time, all right, Mary was a virgin. Do you know what a virgin means? All right, in case you don't, she never had sexual intercourse. Now, here's something you do not know, and it's not public, it's not brought out mainstream, and I could get hell for this one, but it's true. The word is Hasidic Jewish people. Did you hear what I said? Hasidic Jewish people. They're the people that follow a religion to the T. Jesus came from a Jewish family. Mary Magdalene was not Jewish. Mary, the mother of Jesus, was. That meaning, in the Jewish, okay, now follow me, this is real. In the Jewish religion, the Hasidic Jewish people cannot get married unless the woman is a virgin. Did you hear me? Did you hear that? Everybody, Christian or whatever religion, whatever belief you are, did you hear that statement? They cannot be married if the woman is not a virgin. Does a man have to be a virgin? Of course not, which is pretty pathetic and sick.
I'm assuming these days they're clearly violating that.
Not really. The Hasidic Jewish people still do it, but they don't talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the most scariest, retarded, ridiculous part of that. How does a rabbi found out if the girl's Jewish? A virgin. A Jewish virgin woman. Guess what? He does. He does a ceremony on the girl to make sure she's a virgin. And what he does, and wait, let me finish. He breaks her virginity. The rabbi does. Did you hear me? So if Mary, the mother of Jesus, was in the Hasidic Jewish religion, whether how profound the religion she was in was, they do that. So if that even happened, she was no longer a virgin. In other words, the rabbi takes the virginity from a girl to make sure that she is a virgin when she gets married. And I'm not making this up, people. I wouldn't want to. I worked in a Jewish temple. I worked in Jewish houses, Jewish family houses. And I went through that. And I had debates with the parents and the women and everything. They're not allowed to show their body. And she was nursing the baby in front of me. I said, isn't that part of your religion? Oh, well, what? You don't care? So, I mean, sure, like you said, people are starting to wash away their truth. Even their own truth in their own belief system, which is pathetic, wrong, and unjust. All right. Now, I want to bring a very, very important word up. This is being abused over and over by UFO people, by New Age people, by religious people. The word is ascension, ASCENSION, ascension. The dictionary has no clue because the person that wrote the definition of ascension did not go through it, so how could he write what it is? People, use a brain dead when you listen to things like that. Jesus went through ascension. People in general, or no, almost all people on this planet did not and will not go through ascension. No one else I know did. And now people in these worlds are teaching it, doing workshops with it, and all that. I can do it, and I'll explain why in a second. Ascension is the act of rising, definition-wise, to an important position or higher level. All right, now, somebody's ego means they're a higher level than everybody else. Name one person on this planet that's at a higher level than any other person on this planet. Name anybody you want. Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, Dalai Lama, Oprah. I mean, who do you want to name? The Pope, the President. I mean, who else do you want to name? Are they higher level than everybody else? They may think so. They may believe to their own ego they are, but they are not. Now, what does the word really mean? To all those people in the UFO world teaching classes, and I'm not going to say his name right now. He already hates me. But they're teaching classes on ascension. I mean, when freaking... I'm going to say a bunch of names. Corey Goody, David Wilcock, Danny Brinkley, using words that they do not know what they mean, understand them, or what they really are. The word is rainbow body. Did you ever hear of that? And people are teaching that. And they shouldn't be. They have no right to, and they don't even know what it means. All right. Now, teaching ascension. Where are these people supposed to ascend to? Alien level? Meet with aliens? Is that ascension to these people? Ascending means rising from here to the next level. Everybody dies. Usually, everybody ascends. Ascending into the next level. It's a higher level if you want to look at it that way. But you're letting go of the body, moving into your astral body. All right? You're not becoming a super spiritual, egotistical brain on planet Earth. So this word ascension is very important because very few people go through it in the history of the human race. I will say this. In Atlantis, most souls were ascended souls. Did you hear me? Why? Because when you ascend, you attain something. And what you attain is called 32 psychic abilities. You get them all. You get them all off the astral plane.
Jesus had them all, right?
Jesus had 32 of them.
Okay.
He didn't use them all. He could have. He had his own mission, people. God didn't say you have to do this. He chose his mission. He could have canceled his mission anytime he wanted to. I'm going to go into Judas. Judas chose the mission that Jesus gave him, but he was sorry he did. All right. Now, ascension, when you get 32 psychic abilities, mean you have incredible abilities. Does that make you God? No. In history, anybody with any kind of psychic ability was called a god. Even if you could do a magic trick and make people believe you can do it, they thought you were super powerful or super being. Traveling salesmen used to use magic tricks to sell stuff, and these people would buy it thinking they get this magical cure, magical medicine. Jesus went around, all right? He didn't claim he was God ever. Never said he was God. Never. In the Bible, one sentence says he said it. No, he didn't. One man said he said it, which he didn't.
I'm confused. Where did people get the idea that Jesus and God is all one?
Well, what I'm trying to explain right now, when anybody has superpowers, they think they're God. See, no, there was no definition of God ever. The Atlanteans had their aspect of what they called God. But when it came to the reptilians coming down and programming human race, every alien, every deity was considered God. To the Hindu people, the first religion, all these deities came down, and they were all called gods. Then when the Egyptians and the Mayans, they worked with aliens, and they called them gods. Because they had powers, all right? No matter how little or how big their power was. Now, you can listen to Ancient Aliens, which is such full of baloney, useless information, cannot help you move forward spiritually at any level. It's sad. I am so disgusted when I listen to any UFO speaker, when I listen to Ancient Aliens, when I listen to these shows, even a lot of the ghost shows, they see a ghost and they run out, or they try to aggravate a ghost or a spirit. Why? You know, everybody's doing things for entertainment and money. All right. So here's the thing. When a soul dies, they move, move into the astral plane. And there's three different things that happen when they get there. One, they can stay there usually between 5 and 10 years. And then they will have to reincarnate. Have to. All right, because of the word karma. Two, they are given the permission to stay in the astral plane forever. Or three, they actually became an aware being, an aware soul, and can move on past the astral plane. And they start learning what the spiritual worlds are of God, not the astral plane, not hell, but the spiritual worlds. Okay, somebody said they were listening. Okay, cool. All right. So those are the three things that happen. And you'll probably be stuck in one of them. Some souls get stuck here and don't even get to go to the astral plane because they're unaware, unenlightened souls that have no clue of anything. And they're not going to be moved because they have no belief system, no followers, nobody to follow, nobody coming to help them either. All right. I hope you're following. I said, if you want to ask me a question, please stick it in the chat room or text me. Either way, I answer all my questions, good, bad, or indifferent. When they attain a spiritual awareness here on planet Earth, they can move through the realms, through the astral plane, into the mental plane, except one thing happens. Another thing nobody talks about. Why? Because they didn't do it. When you go past the astral plane, there's three little gods there. You can call them deities. I call them little gods. Including Lucifer. And they decide if a soul's ready to move on or not. And I guarantee very few souls move on past the astral plane. And I could go into all that, which we would do a little bit later. All right. I'm going back to Atlantis. It was the only time humans, there were 9 different races, were aware beings. They had psychic abilities, and they used them. They didn't talk if they didn't want to. You couldn't lie, couldn't cheat, couldn't steal. You could levitate things, move around any way you wanted. It was so different. They did not eat meat. They did not kill. So it was I call it the golden age. The only time planet Earth was actually in a golden age. They keep saying we go through the Kali Yuga, Silver Age, Steel Age, Bronze Age. We were never in the golden age. No, just having gold doesn't put you in the golden age. People think it did, or that's what meant the golden age. When it was Steel Age, the Bronze Age, it was the metal they were using. Doesn't mean you're spiritual at any level if that's what you believe in then. All right. Now, I want to say this before I get too far into this. Why can I talk about this? And this is something you might not accept or want to accept. I'm aware of all my past lives back to Atlantis. Out of all of them, and there were many, I was so many different things. But the only 2 that I feel were beneficial and to my growth and for me to become aware was my first one in Atlantis and my one that I had when I was with Jesus when he was alive. Mary Magdalene was my closest friend. I was a female in that lifetime. So I was able to be with Jesus while he was teaching and while they killed him. And that was one of the saddest things in all my lifetimes, to see the most spiritual person be killed by many of his own people. And Christians don't talk about that either. I mean, if you watch the movie of Jesus, you would see that on the cross, they were going to it was either Jesus they could let go or this murderer let go, and they wanted the murderer to be let go. Do you believe that? I mean, that's the mentality of the human race today. No better. And if Jesus came here right now, who would be supporting him? They'd be begging him for things. Would they kill him? Of course they would try.
I wouldn't want to come down here again if I was Jesus.
There's no reason for him to. There's very few souls that have a clue to his teachings or what he even came here for in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm doing this show right now. Because I'm tired of listening to these bull stories, people telling stories and talking like they know something. Whitney Schreiber put a book out about Jesus, a UFO person who cried on TV when they were doing the alien interview, a person that stole my friend's pictures and got sued, and somebody that claims to have some awareness of Jesus now? Really? I'm going to go into a few other people as well, but I'm going to be sending him letters as much as I can and see if he'll even get the balls to talk to me, which nobody does. I mean, out of all the people I sent letters to, tried to talk to, nobody has balls enough to come out and talk and defend their truth, what they call their truth. I mean, they try to block me. Michael Salla blocked me. He told me he was going to, and I said, do what you have to do. But I said, I'm not backing off. So he blocked me. But when I mean that, all he does is attack the U.S. government. I'm surprised they don't just put him in a box and ship him out to space. I mean, they kill many good people. Danny Brinkley, killed 44 people for the government. T.J. Morris's husband killed 139 people for the government. And these are people I know. And they were, well, one of them's alive. The other one died 2 years ago. So, are you listening, people, at all? Is there something in between your two ears that stops things from going through it? I mean, some people call it a brain. All right. There are over 2,000 religions. Only 2 that I know have any more information about what happens, about soul and what it is and everything else, than all the rest of them. But even at that, they attack Jesus. You know, it's sad. People with the ego, no matter what path they follow, when they say they have power or they want to be a teacher in one way or a master as another, meaning you have to follow me, do as I do as I say, it becomes different. But the 2 religions I'm talking about, one is called Shab Yoga and the other one's called Ekankar. But they have a master inside the United States who took the rod of power, which is the power of being the master, when he came into the United States teaching Ekankar. All right. Shab Yoga is a little different, and their chain of masters go for hundreds of years. Ekankar claim a lot of masters from ancient time to now. Anybody that was spiritual, they claim them as an Ek master, which is their twisted idea of making people spiritual people. Nobody knew what the word love meant until Jesus came here. Nobody. So to say we were spiritual, we were loving, no, we were never. Man was never a loving being. After Atlantis was destroyed, man became mass killers, rapists, and murderers, abusers, and all those kind of words, because of the alien races that came down to play with them. All right. When Jesus used his abilities, I mean, he did incredible healings and different things. Nobody today can, even though you hear all these people claiming they're healers. Oh, I'm a healer. Heal me. Well, I'm trying. If you could heal one person, and I word it this way, you could heal everybody. All right. It's simple. If you could heal something, heal everything. And that's a bull story because they can't. Jesus only healed souls that were ready to move on. Not souls because they were evil and they just needed to be healed. Not things like that. When he rose the dead, they went back into the higher worlds with him. People don't look at the facts, the truth, and what really went down. They take what they want, they mold it into whatever they want it to be or mean. Jesus had a lot going on, and people around him did not like that. All the priests and everybody in the temples and everybody else did not like that. Think they wanted to lose their power over people? Jesus did not brag. He didn't go around saying anything. Even when they said, say you're the king, he never would say it. All he said, I am what you call me. If I call you names, that's what you are. But I'm saying, he never said, I am God. And he didn't mean to be, because he never knew, he knew he was not. He would always say, his Father. All right. Now, people took what he was teaching and twisted it and molded it into a bunch of stories. You know, people, when they're around people and certain things happen, oh, he's a healer. and suddenly he gets the name healer. He heals too many people. Oh, he's a spiritual being. All right. So each one of these things magnify how people perceive you in general. Now, most people take that and use it to do their job, to create more energy within themselves, to create more business. Because if you get it 2 or 3 people to say you're a healer, more people will come to you. And the more people that come to you, the more and more people will come to you. All right. Now, there's a person, I always forget his name. He just stares at people. He goes around the world, he stands in a room, and he just stares at people. Never talks to people outside of his house. Gets money, he's getting paid, he's doing these standing, sitting, staring contests with people. And people say, some of them say they get healed. Some, you can create your energy when you're seeing something or doing something. You could be swimming and say, I'm going to heal myself. You could jump out of a plane, I'm going to suck the air and be healed, and you heal yourself. Mankind has the ability to heal themselves. Nobody out there has the ability to heal you. All they do is take your energy and throw it back at you. Because you believe they're healers. So they're just saying, okay, you're healed. And now you're getting your own energy back to heal yourself. All right. Jesus taught about karma. That's not in the Bible. Now, the word forgiveness. Jesus did not die on a cross for people's sins.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I have a trouble getting people, through their heads.
Well, see, people created that to protect themselves.
Exactly. That they don't want the responsibility.
Everything they put on Jesus was to cover up what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus told his people, go out and sin no more. Sin no more means don't come back tomorrow, don't come back next week, don't come back next year. Once you accept you're working for God, you should be living in that space and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a choice of not doing it. That's why the angels fell from the higher worlds. That's why Lucifer came down. Lucifer was the highest angel, and he had to come down too. I'm not talking about Satan. Satan's different, and he's not Lucifer's son. All right. So the word forgiveness. I mean, if you go into the Ten Commandments, the word love is not in there. And then it talks about God. And it says, have no other God before you, which most people do. They have multiple gods, multiple statues, and they have things created in images of God, which is totally not in God's favor.
Mm-hmm.
So, remember, Sergio Latin, when I was doing my show, he brought a statue of the Virgin Mary on his show on one side of the room, and he put an alien on the other. And then he turned around and said he's working with Jesus. People could say what they want. I say the proof is in their action and what they can say. I mean, the stories of Jesus coming down and destroying Lucifer, which is a ridiculous idea, or even Satan. Satan's not going to get destroyed by Jesus either. Jesus spent his time with Satan already, and he doesn't want to spend it with him again, whatever you want to call it. It couldn't kill him. It couldn't kill it then, and it can't kill it now. God allows it to stay here for a reason. Everything in God's plan is for a reason. Whether people can perceive it, understand it, or want to is a different story. Hell, planet Earth, is just that. It's for soul to wake up. to understand what it is, meaning soul. What is soul? What does soul do? All right, people want to believe stories rewritten over and over again. All right, the people around Jesus could not write. One of the people with him could write, but he wasn't writing down everything that Jesus was saying, and he wasn't taking shorthand either. The stories were retold and rewritten over by other people. So how much truth can they have? Just pass one sentence around 100 people. You're never going to get the same sentence back. So all the retold stories were twisted, molded, recreated, made into whatever they felt like.
Mm-hmm.
And to think just because it's an old tablet, like the Emerald tablets, Sumerian tablets, and even the Urantia and things like that, just because it's an older tablet means it's real? Men were always the same, pathetic, sick, useless individuals because they were not aware. Sorry, people. Mankind's still not aware, and we are becoming much more dangerous to ourselves and to the planet. Are you watching how many people died over the weekend that got shot? I mean, a little girl went and shot people up. Another one went into the room and shot 10 people. New York City is really bad. I mean, the other state, it's horrible. And is anybody doing anything about guns? No! All the ignorant people want to carry guns. They think they have the right to. Why? Who are you planning on shooting? Who do you think you can get away with and shoot? If the government comes up to your door, you going to try shooting them? You could try, but you think you're going to get anywhere doing that? If 10 people are attacking your house, can you shoot them? No, you can't, as they found out a couple months ago when a group of people were marching up to the house and said they were going to burn down the house, and the guy pulled out a gun, and then he had to go to court. Our morals are twisted. Our beliefs are twisted. It has nothing to do with God, nothing to do with the truth either. Now, I'm going to go back and forth right here, but in the UFO world, all these people going on about Jesus and this, that, and the other thing. The book by Whitney Schreiber. And how does he know anything? And, sadly, a lot of people think listening to an alien, they get the truth. I'll tell you this. The beings from Venus, there were 7 of them here, said that they don't know the actual story of Jesus, but they said he was an alien. They don't know the truth. I wanted to meet with the one. She wanted $50 for me to talk to her. I wasn't willing to pay $50 to talk to a person because I wanted to tell her something. I almost did, but she was sick. She was dying, all kinds of things.
She should have paid you.
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't ask for money. I said, you want the truth? I will give it to you for free if you want it. Now, I'm going to do a workshop. I'm going to charge a few dollars just to make sure people think that it's not a freebie for no reason. I mean, a lot of times, the more people pay for it, the more they respect it. But I'm not here to make money off of people at all. I'm here to put the truth out only. No other reason. I will do it until I die. I don't care who likes what I say, who cares what I say, who disagrees with what I say. I'm still putting the truth out there. All right. And why? I'll get into that. But what was Jesus teaching his disciples? Nobody knows. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't love. You cannot teach love, people. Describe how you teach love. Well, you put 2 people together and you have them kiss each other. Is that how you describe what love is? Do 2 people have to kiss each other, love each other? Or have sex or anything? Do you have a programmed idea what love is? Of course you do. Jesus was trying to teach about soul. Not ego, not money, about soul. what we are when we let go of this physical body. His only reason to die was to show that, not to take your sins away. He came back so people could see that soul doesn't die. But without that, he also did say, give your soul over to God, you'll have eternal life. Try to hold on to it, you'll lose it. And now people are trying to hold on to it. And guess what? They're saying they're six-dimensional beings. Really? But when Jesus was trying to teach about God, a three-letter word, it wasn't called that then, but to describe that to people, farmers and fishermen, what did they know? A programmed idea of a high priest telling them what they have to do and a statue up on top of the room. They didn't know what a God was. There was no great miracle workers walking around the planet at that time all the time. You know, if you ever get a chance, start checking out your past lives. Just maybe you could go back to that time frame and you can find the truth, to see the truth. He did not teach love, but he did show it. He actually showed what love was. How? Well, how do you know your mother and father love each other? By their actions, right? How do you think people around Jesus or his disciples knew what Jesus was when he was with Mary Magdalene? By the actions he did with her, including having a baby. Jesus was killed before he got to see his daughter. Mary Magdalene went into hiding. I didn't see her too much longer after that. But the Knights of Templar were created up for Mary Magdalene and her daughter. They built pyramids for her. She was powerful, people. The most powerful woman to walk this planet. Because she had to finish what Jesus was teaching. She had to have those abilities or she couldn't teach them, could she? And it's completely stripped out of the Bible. Why? Because man wrote the Bible. Do you understand? Men do not like women, never did. Oh, they like sex with women. They like to play with them and use them. All right. So Mary Magdalene had incredible gifts. So I would say she went through ascension. Jesus took her through it. Because she had 32 psychic abilities. She wasn't killed. She got out of the country. She went, traveled, teaching. One other disciple did too. It was the name my mother named me after, Thomas. He left. He went to India. And he started teaching Jesus' teachings in India. And that's why you hear a story that Jesus went to India. Because in those days, you had a beard and you wore white clothes and you were teaching. Oh, he's Jesus. You didn't have a birth certificate and they analyze and check your social security number and things like that.
Did Sarah have any gifts?
I really don't know. I'm sure her mother gave her or taught her or helped her go through ascension.
Okay.
I don't know that.
Okay.
Because I only saw her as a baby. I don't know her, how she grew up or what happened. I do know the Knights of Templar were working with her daughter because Mary Magdalene didn't live forever. Nobody lived past 125 years at that time frame, even though they said, oh, they lived 500 years, 10,000, 100,000, 1,000 years and all that. That's all baloney. Moses didn't live that long. When he brought his people around the circle and marched them around, it was 4 generations. And basically everybody that went around in circles died. So they never really made it to the promised land in the definition of the way Christians look at it. And when when Moses brought them to the promised land, there were people living there, people. And guess what? all those so-called Christians killed them all so they could take it over. So if you call that religious or spiritual, think again. And Moses was the highest black magician that I know that existed in history. He created 613 laws after the 10 Commandments. And if you read the Bible, you can read all his laws, what he said, and what he wanted, and all that. Oh, everything you did was wrong. Cut your fingers off, cut your eyes out, cut your legs off. Whatever you did was wrong. Cut it out, pluck it out. I mean, he was pretty pathetic. You couldn't see nudity. He went on and on and on. He was against everything. But again, he did magic powers on people that he worked against. And sure, they always justify things that happen. Sure, things change. I mean, the Dead Sea or things like that. When the sea opened up, oh, it was only a foot high. Oh, but guess what? If it was only a foot high, everybody could have walked across it. I mean, the whole story, when science takes it, well, all the plagues that Moses created are all natural. The plague was because there was rust in the water. The gas came out of the rust, and everything came out of this, and that came out of that. But they all followed through, didn't they? They killed all the children. I mean, you can go into the reasons why all the children died, because children slept on. I mean, there was like the parents slept on a higher level, and the children slept on the ground. And when the gas rose across the ground, it killed all the children sleeping on the ground.
We got Jennifer asking a question.
Okay.
She says, is that why I see the things I do?
You know, when you open up to spirit and you start working with it, it allows you to see much more than you normally would see. The next thing is the wisdom to understand it and translate it. Many things are shown to us, but if we can't understand what's being shown to us, it doesn't really help. Even a death experience, which I listen to, most people have no clue what happened. Oh, I saw my mother. Oh, I saw Jesus. Oh, I saw God. And they told me to come back. No, that's what the mind said. You're going into a different dimension in reality. The mind's not aware of anything that's going on there. And the mind can only translate what it knows. So if you can step out of your body, which is the most important thing to learn, you could see soul's awareness and what it's learning. And I'm definitely going to try to help people work on that a little harder than they are.
She says, yeah, she just said she saw everything.
What's everything?
That's a good question.
Oh, ask her. I see she wrote that, but what's everything to her? Death, birth, reincarnation. What did she see? God, Moses, Jesus. What did she see? Buddha. I mean, where was her? Everything means she saw Buddha. She saw everything together. Why? Because you get too much stuff that's not useful. It only becomes baggage. All right. If you're not getting stuff that you can use, translate, and work with, it's not beneficial. All right. Mary Magdalene's daughter was protected by Mary. They went hiding for a short period of time. She still had to finish teaching the disciples what they had to learn. Not that many of them lived through it.
So Jennifer says, the world, the universe, I feel connected to everything.
All right. That's a feeling. I call that the bliss state, which Buddha talked about. It's a universal consciousness. All right. It's only one level. You are separate from everything. You are not connected to everything. When you go past that level, you'll realize soul has its own mission, own journey, and own things to do with its reality. And that keeps changing for that individual soul. It will never be the same for any other soul. If they even get away from planet Earth and they don't have to reincarnate. All right. I'm not trying to condemn or attack what you're saying, but I'm only giving you what I know for a fact for myself and people that I work with and people that I saw when they die, when they translate, when they come back, and the aspects of what people go through. What people say because of what Buddha said. I mean, I live with a Buddhist, so it's really hard. They do not believe in God. See God and you saw everything. Not anything. You saw everything important. Very few people will ever get to see God in any of their lifetimes. All right, even if they get into the mental plane or the soul plane. Soul plane, you're working with the most powerful energy of God. Sasha, you got any questions?
No. I mean, I've pretty much I'm on a level. I'm just working towards having that experience. That's just my goal.
Well, again,
And yeah. Don't worry. I'm not pushing myself. I'm taking my time with it.
well, and I don't tell people to do drugs. I don't tell people to do different things. But once in a lifetime, maybe twice in a lifetime, you need to do something that'll open you up completely to a place that you never were.
Hmm.
All right. Under guidance, don't do something really stupid like I did, but I mean, do it with the guide, spiritual guide, and do something and attain something. But focus on that because you can get sidetracked once you leave your body and you're not with an angel or a guide. You're sidetracked every which way, going everywhere except to the right place, the right way, or doing the right things. And even at that point, you don't tell your guides where to take you,
Hmm.
or you'll never get to the next step that you really need to get to. And I know many people try. Well, I want to do this. I want to do it. I want to go. No, you're not ready to do that, or you don't need to do that. And most people are so locked into what they think they need or what they really think that they have to do, they let go of the fact that spirit knows what's best. Always. Whether it's a male angel, female angel, guide, spiritual guide, whatever you want to call it, whatever it looks like, as long as it doesn't feel negative or like a demon. Because then you have to challenge it and get rid of it. And that
Hmm.
happens too, especially people that are unprotected, don't know how to protect themselves, try to leave their body and think they could just do drugs and get there. A lot of things open up, but the wrong things open up for them. All right. In all the time that we had since the beginning of time, women were always persecuted. They were never recognized as important. Sure, there was a queen here and there and things like that. And Joan of Arc was probably one of the most important women in history. But she was killed like what, 19 years old? Men don't like women doing anything. Now, yeah, they'll let them go skiing and go, but when they let them go into a boxing ring, really? When they let them go on the front line of a war battlefield, really? Uh, if you think you want to be equal to a man, that's your choice. But being equal to a man doesn't mean anything important or spiritual. Most men are not spiritual. And I have to quote the book Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus.
Hmm.
They're two separate entities completely. They think different, they act different, they feel different, and their compassion's so much different. Now, Mary Magdalene, and I'm going to tell you this straight out, was an incredible woman. Uh, to deal with all these men, what I'm trying to say. And men, Peter himself didn't want to listen to her. She's a woman. She's a woman. She doesn't know nothing. She's a woman. He was not going to listen to her. He would have never met Jesus again if he didn't. He had to finally break down and say, right, teach me what you're going to teach me. And then he was able to meet with Jesus. And that's what Mary Magdalene was teaching, the technique Jesus was teaching, not how to get forgiven for your sins. No, it wasn't about that.
Well, apparently, this force, whatever, it directed Jennifer to you, so that's good.
Well, any questions that you have, anybody text me, email me, or talk to me on Skype. I'm open. I'm not in it for money. I'm not going to charge people for anything. But I do answer everybody's question that asks me a question. I mean, if it's in my realm, I mean, if you ask me about car parts and stuff, forget it. I have no clue. I mean, there's certain things I never put my focus on. I did put my attention on ghosts, spirits, demons, entities, deities, aliens. So, yeah, I'm aware of all that. A lot more than most people as well. Not because I say so, because I experienced it and was with them or next to them, filmed them.
Next to a Bigfoot, too, right?
Yeah, I was a foot away from one. So, again, I don't make things up because I want to. I'm not telling stories because I just feel people want to hear it. And I'm not going to tell you some stupid story that's supposed to make you feel good and then think something good is going to happen. We're destroying the planet. Do I need to go into what Musk is doing, what Gates is doing? Everything's horrible. All the things they're doing are horrible. I mean, he was on Saturday Night Live and he exposed something as well on TV. Miley Cyrus was on the show with him. I only watched it because of her, not because of him. But what he's doing, he's a liar, he's deceitful, and he's going to destroy the planet the same as Gates is.
People don't. No.
One other thing, right now, all right, there's many people, millionaires and billionaires, buying islands, really, including Trump. Maccabee, I don't know if that's the right way to say it. He bought a giant piece of Hawaii, the second piece. I mean, Gates owns more farmland in the United States than any other people. What are these people doing? What are they planning? And what's going to happen? A disaster. Now, I know when Bush and other presidents were president, they were buying islands with water. No lie. But then again, you don't hear one word about underground cities. Why not? All these UFO people, all these other people. When Phil Snyder went into an underground base and he almost got killed and they killed 67 Green Berets, nobody wants to talk about that story.
Yeah, poor
It's
Phil.
all about depopulation. Gates actually said it in his own words. I just watched the video and he goes, we need better medicines to eliminate population. What? What does that mean? I mean, these people are so straight blunt with what they're doing. And people still think they're good people. I don't know how. I don't know why. Religious people claim to be religious, but do they care about truth? Do they want to know why they're even here? I'm doing a workshop. Do you know why you're on this planet? Do you know why you're going to leave it? Do you know where you're going to go? Do you know why you're coming back? Do you know any of those questions? Did your church, religion, spiritual leader, spiritual master tell you any of that? Why not?
Oh, cool. Jennifer just said she lives over an underground base.
Really? Jesse Ventura exposed the whole city on TV. And that's one of the reasons why he was taken off. People, to show you how bad it is, a friend of mine, Sean David Martin, discovered Area 51. He was framed years ago, put in jail. They did everything to him. Tortured him, they beat him, they had him raped, they put him in solitary confinement nude for 55 days. But he got out months ago. He did a show with Kerry Cassidy. They arrested him Friday. He's in jail now again. They blinded him. They took his retina out. They took his teeth out. They said this was wrong, that was wrong. They tried blinding him so he couldn't do his paperwork. But he's in jail right now. He goes to court. I think he's going today. I wish him the best, people. He might need money. Who knows? If anybody feels like they want to help a person who was one of the top UFO people when he wasn't in jail. He was a genius. Some people hate him. Something bad went down. It wasn't his fault, and he didn't make money on it, people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and all the stories you hear exaggerate that, twist it. In court, not one person testified against him. They had no evidence against him when they put him in jail. Now, pull up John Ford in Long Island. They got no proof on him. They said he had a barrel of uranium. A barrel, not a cup or a shot, but a barrel of uranium, and he was going to kill people in Congress. Really? What's he going to scoop it out, put it in a cup, go around people's houses and pour it in their toothpaste? Really? With uranium? I mean, the story was so pathetic, and the government's not letting him go to trial. He's been in since 1996. To show you the ignorance and how controlling the universe, the government, and people in power are, Leonard Peltier, the head of Native American movement, is in jail. I think it's for almost 42 years right now. When Wounded Knee 2 happened and 2 FBI agents got shot, they pinned it on him with no evidence. None whatsoever. He's been dying for a while. He's very sick. He wrote a book in his Sundance in jail. But he didn't do what they said he did at any level. There was no proof that he did. And they shot 2 FBI agents on native land that they were not supposed to be on. So the stories that the police, the government, they're wrong. And then people support certain things like carrying guns. This world can't get better until we remove guns out of all these people's hands. If you have it, you go to jail for 25 years, no matter what. You won't be walking the street with a gun too often. And if you do, you know you're going to be stuck in jail for a long time. They should do that. Oh no, we have the right to kill people, to carry guns, to shoot people. Why? Because they were allowed to shoot native people with guns, and during the cowboy days, we were allowed to shoot each other. Where do morals come out of it? They don't have morals, people. Nobody does. And you want spiritual truth? Are you ready? Are you willing to give up programmed, twisted, pathetic thinking? To understand that there is a real God? It created multiple things for multiple reasons, but hell is for the worst reason or the best, or however you want to look at that. Well, Bill Gates doesn't live in our country, luckily. I don't know. Could you hold on?
There's Gizmo.
Could I just take one look? Could you just take a look?
Mm-hmm.
Could you say something to these people? I'll be right back. Sorry.
Yeah, certainly. If anybody wants to jump in to the live stream, I'll have Tommy, when he gets back, put the link up. So you guys can chat with us. The more, the better. Anyway, Jennifer, welcome to the stream. 10. Welcome. There's Gizmo. That's Tommy's dog, by the way, Gizmo. Wesley, welcome.
Sorry about that, people.
Oh, you're good. Well, I appreciate that, Jennifer. Thank you.
Special delivery, which I've been waiting for a long time. Months.
Okay, good deal.
So people.
So we've got a possible Muslim in the house. Wesley, healed tooth in your mouth from Jesus. No time to talk, Allah.
Okay.
Unless I'm mistaken, I don't know.
You know, I'm a little bit hardcore. I studied all religions. I stayed in a Catholic church for 9 months. I stayed in a Jewish temple for 9 months. I worked in a Hasidic Jewish temple for 9 months, between 9 and 10 months. I followed, I listened, and I listened to what they taught and teach and believed in. I studied the Quran. I studied what supposedly an angel said to Muhammad. I work with angels, not constantly. I did. I work with 3 different angels. But to say which angel you work with, prove it. How do you know what angel you're really working with? They don't usually say their names ever. There was only 9 names mentioned in the Bible. I mean, 100 were mentioned in the Revelations. All right, but they're not names of them, just angels. But Gabriel, Michael, I mean, are the most 2 popular. I mean, but there's 9, and they all have similar names, except Metatron or Alphatron. I even get that mixed up. But it sounds like a futuristic angel. But what they did, they're not teachers. Angels. All right. You know, angels come to bring messages to people. All right. Even Moses got his 10 commandments. They were laws to live by. They weren't spiritual laws. Except for the fact that it was about God, the first 2. And you can say that's spiritual, but what you do is either spiritual or not. How you live is spiritual or not. All right. I look at people around the world. Any man in any religion that thinks they have any power over woman is not following the true teachings of spirit, of the higher angels or the deities. All right. No man has power, even though they think they do. And that was given to them by the Anunnaki and the reptilian race. After they destroyed Atlantis, there were 9 races of beings here. They were given that power to control them, to give them killing, murder, eating animals, all those kind of things that humans did not need. All right. I'm trying to read, but it's hard to read and talk at the same time. I met with Satan. All right. I did exorcisms. I worked with deities and demons and you name it. I worked with 3 deities. All right. I lived with Jesus for a short period of time. I'll challenge anybody on this planet about God and Jesus with my life. I don't tell stories. I don't live in stories. And I'll challenge people that go against Jesus at any level for any reason. And that's their choice. Jehovah. I mean, you could say a lot of words. Jehovah is a god on the astral plane. So, I mean, there's 3 gods on the astral plane, including Lucifer. Satan dwells down here. All right. But the deities, there's many deities that work in the lower realms. I work with Tara, Shiva, and Manjushri for names of deities. All right. And what they taught me had nothing to do with planet Earth. They don't teach about Earth. If you know the stories, it was twisted and rewritten by man. Hindu religion was the first religion on the planet. The first religion. They were working with the deities. All right. And then when Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism came out, they created more deities to move up into the mountains to work with them. All right, Satan's still here. Satan's in control of many people right now. They don't know how to defend themselves from it or protect themselves from it. Children are killing people. Why? I mean, all the things that are happening show the sickness taking over mankind. The disease, the virus, which is created, is karma. Has nothing to do with God. I mean, the deities are one thing, and the angels are one thing. But there's 9 beings that control the lower realm. I call them the Council of 9. They control all alien races, and they control a lot of things going on with the universes. All right. They got their own missions, own goals, and what they all battle with each other as well. But what's important right now is what you're going to do with your life, understanding what's going to happen when you let go of it. All right. How is the bread and the fish? I don't eat meat. I mean, and even the Hindu people in the beginning stopped eating meat for one reason, not because they were religious.
Yeah. Sounds like you've got a troll in the house. You don't get them very often, but
No, you know, when you mention Jesus, every troll in the world will come out to try to defend it or attack it.
Oh yeah.
It's just their karma, because they'll face their God sooner or later.
Oh
what
yeah.
they be their God. They will go where they deserve to go. Period. I don't have to say a word. But again, people do what they want, say what they want, live the way they want, and then they're responsible for that. All right, guess what? Mr. Muslim is gone. All right.
Good.
But here's the thing. You know, while I'm finishing up today, people, it's about you. Nobody else, no other religion, nothing else going on in the world. You need to respect who you are and where that place is with God. All else, everything else will come sooner or later. I mean, it might be the last breath you take, it might be right before it might be years before it, or it might be right now. But Spirit watches over us when we're ready, when we're listening. The deities, the angels, our guides are all there. They don't hide from us. We hide from them. People, it's time to wake up. Look at the truth. Look at the facts. Look at what's going on. The world's in chaos. And it's getting worse every day. The money market's going to crash. The rich people think they could hide by moving to other islands and things like that. There's a lot of things going to go down. I'm in Hawaii, so it's a little bit different because we're separate from the United States.
Mm-hmm.
But the United States could be in serious trouble every which way with the virus. They could classify that, shut everything down again, which they might. Look at what's happening to Africa. The most sad thing ever to happen in our reality. And it's not getting better.
I forgot, is it Alaska or Hawaii? That's the first line of defense.
We are.
Okay.
Hawaii.
Okay.
All right. We have underground bases here and everything else. I mean, after Fukushima, I guess they realized they had to do something better. But they weren't ready. They just weren't ready. A sad thing. I didn't realize how many ships got blown up and everything that went down. But they were not ready. Now they are. We're ready for China, people. We're ready for Russia. We're ready for any country. We have the best technology given to us from aliens, sorry to say. But we can do what we need to do when we have to. We have the biggest ship in the ocean. We have the biggest submarine in the water. And we have the biggest plane in the air. And they all have the highest technology on each one of them. So that means they could eliminate a country whenever they desire to or need to. Well, that sounds cool.
Interesting.
One day, if you want to talk about it, please, you can come on the show and talk about it if you want. We could talk about that, but email me or Skype me, Hawksblood11. But there's so many things happening right now. And I don't see any way out of it in a good way. Praying is not going to answer everybody's cure. Condemning every religion is not going to help anybody. Putting spells on everybody can only make things worse. So we're in the middle of a disaster. Which way it's going to go, how it's going to go is way up in the air because everything can go a different way. The money can crash, the virus can crash, the food can crash. We could have an earthquake, volcano at the same time. We could be attacked by aliens as the same. All of it could happen at the same time. And it's all coming to up to all of that. And mankind is not doing anything positive to balance out any of the energy that they're creating.
Nope.
And that's the sad part of all this. Mankind could have united with all the world. We could have been one global people. We could have did miracles at every level. And we decided to kill each other. So people, our time's running out. I'm glad if everybody's here, I'm glad you stayed and stuck around. I will be doing a workshop, and it's going to be the most hardcore workshop ever done. I think so. We'll get into every aspect and what we need to do, what you have to do, and all those other things along with that. How you have to look at your parents, how you have to look at life, how you have to understand it, learn it, and figure it out, and all those things. It's all important. Just living life, having a family, getting a job is not any answer to spiritual growth. Because you have children, if you have 2, 10, 20, doesn't make you spiritual. And a matter of fact, it takes away from that. Because now you have to split your love with them multiple ways. Love can only go so far. And children will realize that. And it always affects 1 or 2 children right away.
I can attest to that. I had a family at 20.
So it's not the easiest thing, and it's not the right thing. Farrakhan is a great speaker. He doesn't allow white people into where he's speaking. He also talks about alien ships. That's where he's at. He talks about aliens. Sorry about that. Yes, he's not mainstream like he used to be. I'm surprised he's alive. But then again, with the so-called black and white issue, I mean, what's his name? The one that's always saying everything's a black issue, always said anything that happened was a black issue. He's still out there mainstream as well. So where are we headed? Well, we better get our act together, at least our own act. Own up, understand, work out what you have to do with the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have time. There's not much time. If we got blown up tomorrow, are you ready? Well, if you're 100% committed to spirit, you're ready. No matter what. Spirit will know that. If you're not, guess what? Souls get stuck here. They don't even get to leave the planet. Otherwise, you'll be in the astral plane reincarnating already. Some souls have to reincarnate very fast. They don't even get to stay in the astral plane for a period of time.
What a bummer.
It's a bummer. But people that live on sex or live on drugs or live on something, they don't want anything else. And when they get into the higher worlds and when they find out that they're not male or female, then what? What do I want to be here for? I don't have anything to do. So learning spiritual understanding of what soul can do is incredible. Because once you start experiencing it, it becomes such a greater awareness of than just sitting around watching TV or playing hockey or even football or anything. It just gets better, people. The worlds in the higher worlds just get better as well. And there's certain realms that you don't ever have to leave. But don't stay in the astral plane. And try not to come back here. Because the mental plane, 3rd, 4th, and 5th planes are incredible. If you go past the soul plane, which is the 5th plane, you're letting go the aspect of soul that you are, to something even higher, but it's undefined. And I wouldn't even go into that at any level right now. So we have a lot to do, a lot to learn, a lot of things to go through. But unless you're ready and willing and able, it's useless. So people, look, I'm kind of going to end it now. I'm glad everybody tuned in. Send this link to everybody you know. I know people are going to object to certain things. I mean, I said some things that might interfere with a person's religion. But do you want the facts? You want to live in lies and you want to die in a lie? Do you want to reincarnate? Gizmo, stop that.
Gizmo's he's disturbing it alive.
He's playing his ball around the floor. So, hey, you. Hey, you're not listening, Gizmo. Stop it.
Gizmo.
So, people, my email is hawksblood1@aol.com. Skype is hawksblood11. Either way, I rather talk than type. But send me questions, call in, text me, whatever. I'm here to put my truth out there to help you get yours. And it's always going to be about yours, nobody else's. Remember that. Yes. Yeah, Mr. Gizmo, you're saying how he just popped down now. He just stopped playing with his ball. But Gizmo, come here. Nobody saw it. Come here. Get up. Come on, get up. Come here. Now he's laying on the floor on his belly. He's funny. But no, please, people, this was a very serious talk. I hope you got something out of it. If not, I'm sorry. Do better next time. All right, people. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, and thank you for having me.
Everybody, tell them where you heard it. Give them the link. I didn't get into the UFO people too much, which I really wanted to do because they're really attacking Jesus at every level.
And thank you for everybody for coming into this one.
Well, it was great, everybody. Till next time, enjoy your night, morning, day, wherever it is, whatever time it is. Do something nice. And before you go to bed, think about something before you go to bed. Set up a dream, at least. Open up a doorway so that it'll bring you into that tonight. Hopefully, it'll be a little more solid because you put your focus and attention on it. All right, people. Compassion, love, whatever you need in your life. Hope you get it. Till next time.